Hey there guys, and welcome to the day 11 update of the epic ride home. This one is pretty fresh and pretty raw because I've literally just jumped off the bike and checked into my hotel in Firenze, or Florence as you and I would read it on Google Maps. I've covered about 350 miles worth of riding today, which is a big day's riding. I set off at 9 o'clock this morning and it has just turned 8 o'clock as I have reached my hotel. Very good day's worth of riding. I'm really glad to have ticked off a massive chunk of mileage, including a detour through the centre of Rome, and I have been to another country. Technically, I have been to the Vatican City. I don't think the Pope was in. I don't think it's quite like Buckingham Palace or anywhere like that where they put the flag up if the Queen's in. But I couldn't get too close with the bike because there were plenty of armed police security force around. Probably understandable. You would probably get exactly the same thing at any of the royal residencies in the UK. But I did manage to get a couple of little snaps, a little bit of video, and then that was basically it. Box ticked, let's crack on. And while this morning's route was a little bit more scenic, I kind of did actually end up getting lost on the way to Rome, and then getting out of Rome as well. And I just basically took the Autostrada toll road from Rome all the way up to Florence. So there's been a good 3 to 4 hours worth of really boring smashing it down the motorway, but it's been very effective. And yeah, you've got to kind of find a balance. I'm now about an hour away from Bologna. It's going to be a bit of fun getting around Florence. Maybe it's going to be an hour and a half instead then. Yeah, what else is there to say? I'm in generally good health. The bike, I went and got that sorted this morning. I went to the local village looking for a garage who could help me out with a 19mm spanner I needed to sort out that leaking oil union, and I ended up finding a hardware store, or being directed to a hardware store by a very helpful local, and I have now purchased my 19mm spanner, so I can sort that out anyone I like. For the benefit of, in case I did need to do so, and checking every time I've stopped for fuel or for water, I've kept the sump guard off. I've also been no jacket again today, which has been a blessing in disguise, because it's been lovely and it's been roasting hot. It was 39 degrees in Rome. Yeah, getting to Europe, they said, it'll be really cool and not really pleasant, they said. Yeah, 39 degrees is what I was experiencing in bloody Egypt. I understand my Twitter feed is anything to go by. I totally understand. I'm not going to get any sympathy, because from the vitriol I got back when I said it's bloody hot here today, a lot of people came back with tough bloody luck. It's peeing down the rain here in the UK and it's freezing cold. Sorry, but there is such a thing as too hot. Of course, the flip side of that exceptional hot weather, while it would normally be very pleasant for biking, I am quite badly sunburnt. I think you can see my tan line there from where I've had my gloves on, and I've got the same thing on my legs as well, where my boots stop and my shorts start. That is rather red and raw. I won't show you my legs, don't worry. And the rest of it is going to be pasty white boy. So I'm sunburnt and suffering. I'm running out of some toiletries, and yeah, a trip to the supermarket is going to be required, but I'm also going to be heading out into Florence town centre to catch up with a friend of mine on Twitter who I met at the Saints Inter Milan footy game in Milan last year now. We got chatting on Twitter, we met up after the football game, and as I'm passing through, he's in Florence, he's at work this evening, and we're going to go for a drink afterwards. Another example of why social media is awesome. So, a good day's riding. Tomorrow is going to be the Ducati factory at Borgo Panigale in Bologna. and because the factory itself is not open, the factory is shut for a month, but my understanding is the museum is still open, so I'm going to get a museum tour, which will probably take about an hour, a couple of hours. I anticipate a couple of hours at the factory, you know, and the museum, just to well, that's kind of the reason why I've chosen the route that I have, really. So we'll go and we'll enjoy that. I shall pick up some gizzits and some fridge magnets and Ducati memorabilia and all the rest of it. Don't worry, I'm not going to suddenly become that guy that's decked head to toe in Ducati gear. I've made that mistake with my fake Ducati jacket. So once I've got that done, this is then my opportunity to try and catch up with some of the mileage and some of the time that I've lost in the delays with getting my bike to Italy. So I will be heading off up into the Alps, and I'm also going to be contacting Red Renner and Phil Tonic, as I know they're on an Alps trip around about the same time as me. So hopefully I'll find out where I'm going to be, I'll find out where they're going to be, and instead of me going all the way to Munich to see them, they're going to come most of the way here. So that allows me, not only with the factory being closed, that will allow me to catch up some time. And I'm still working on trying to get back to the UK for the 8th of August. Fingers crossed. No other major news to report today other than my very first breakdown. Those of you who have GoPros, those of you who have them mounted on the chin or elsewhere on your helmet, check your sticky pads. I reached up over my shoulder to scratch the back of my neck because it was itching, because it was getting badly sunburnt, at which point I suddenly felt a really strange strangling, as my chin mounted GoPro had broken off and the power cable that I had routed down my t-shirt, it basically got wrapped around my neck. This happened at 140 kilometers an hour on the autostrada, and I'm not going to lie, it shook me up a little bit. It did wake me up quite a bit. That's the first genuine breakdown I've had, and I'm really glad it's not the bike. The bike, oil leak aside, is behaving beautifully. So check your chin mounts, check your sticky mounts, and if you're mounting anything GoPro wise in the airflow, always tether it to something that is not going anywhere. I was lucky in this instance that I had the power cable, which was routed down my t-shirt and into my power supply, which was in my pocket. So plenty of things for it to catch on, and I'm not a GoPro and a few cases and mounts down. So I'm going to leave it there. A good day's ride today, a hard day's ride. Obviously lost a couple of hours for not having the GoPro. Vatican City, Rome is mental, not going to lie, but I'm so glad. It's a fantastic place. If you ever want to go and see this real mixture of ancient history with modern day, yeah, Rome's a place to go. I still need to sort out this poxy Vodafone SIM card. That's let me down massively. After I recorded the video last night, it did actually start working, but I've woken up this morning to a load of messages saying you need to put more credit on this, which is rather surprising considering it's a pre-paid data SIM card. So hopefully somewhere in Bologna I'm going to have an opportunity to sort that out, and 4G Wi-Fi uploading videos is not going to be an issue. So thank you very much for listening to me ramble on. Ciao.